Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Hi. There's our two little babies. Two little baby doves or pigeons or whatever they are. Yeah, this thing is blowing around and me and Rich is trying to fix it for him. Mama took off. She got freaked out. Rich is trying to check this thing. And so you might have to just grab it and get it out of there first, Rich, and then put some seed in it.
I don't want to scare them.
They're okay. They ain't going nowhere.
Oh, no, there's still some in there.
Oh, she looks like she might have been eating it though. There you go. I don't know. She probably can't regurgitate that to the little ones, you know. But there's a lot of bird poop on that board right there, so she's
got
hanging her ass off and pooping, or they're hanging their ass off and pooping. But okay, well, we'll just let them go back to doing their business. We were working on Rich's cart here, working up the idea of putting the Martin front brakes on. He doesn't want to alter the OEM stuff, so we'll make new spindles. So this is now a winter project, getting the front brakes on this thing for him. These spindle arms are so short, there's really no way to mount a brake. Oh, is that bird poop on me right there? I think it is. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I think it's from the bucket. This is too small to get a brake mount on it, so instead of altering this OEM stuff, we'll just go ahead and make a new spindles and what have you. But inevitably, it didn't really make the go-kart any wider than it already was. It isn't going to make the rear any wider. As you can see, we're all the way out just past the end of this stub axle, and maybe the front of that tank needs to come out maybe a hair. But this one was already in. This one we haven't moved yet, right? So once it moves out, I think we've moved about an inch and a half. Is that what we said? Inch and a half?
Yeah.
No. We went, this one was that's...
We're 5/8.
No, from here to here.
Oh, well,
get the tape measure. Just give me... This one was 7.5. What was this one? 6? No. 6.5. So it's about an inch more. So inevitably, like I said, we're not going to be anywhere near the width of the rear. And overall, we're looking at overall width of the go-kart, so I leave enough room on the wall, and I don't make the bench too long. So we'll just leave 45 inches. He's at about 42, I think, at the very widest across the back, 41, something like that. So yeah, and 40 inches was about normal for these carts back in the day.
Yeah.
When we started putting body work on them, we always had to use the bigger nose cones and stuff. So.
Yeah, my Hartman was, I think, 41 in the front after we.
42. We saw some 42 when we started running bigger motor and bigger tires.
Yeah.
They did get up to 42. They did start getting a little wide.
And you know what? I don't get why these guys want a 37-inch wide cart. The skinnier you are, the faster you are, the less wind resistance.
I'm sure that might make a difference at a place like a Daytona or a Road America, but we don't race at Road America. You only race once a year at Daytona. Having a Daytona specific go-kart these days I would think is fine, but a wider go-kart, if it handles better, corners faster.
Yeah, that Hartman was
it isn't going to hurt you in a straight line.
Yeah, I never. These guys are always doing this shit in their 100cc carts, sliding them around.
Yeah.
And to me, you're scrubbing speed. That Hartman would go in there and it went exactly where you put it.
Yeah.
It wasn't dancing around, wasn't doing no stupid stuff.
Well, when they started putting bodies on them, you're looking at something that's 4 inches wider.
Yeah.
Well, 2 to 4 inches wider. And again, I don't think anybody gave the straight axle carts a chance.
No.
They just all jumped on. Somebody won a race with a wishbone go-kart. Next thing you know, everybody had to have one.
Exactly.
It's the pipe of the month club, right?
Yep, exactly.
With your 100cc stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. That's okay. Cool. Cuz left us a nice little piece of history to play with. This one's nice.
And we're not going to do anything. We're not cutting anything off this.
Yep.
Everything that we modify, we're going to be able to bring right back to stock,
Right.
if necessary.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, I don't. This is still original paint, people.
Yeah.
That is factory paint on there. You can see where it got
That's-
some brake fluid on.
That's an OEM sticker right
Yep.
there.
That's the original Big Daddy.
TM, baby. Yep.
And original upholstery, tanks, everything. Nothing was destroyed
Yep.
on this. We just wanted to put some modern brakes on it so the thing could stop, because that other stuff was
The
crazy.
Seat on this one bolted in. It's not welded in like the old 60s and 70s Hartmans.
So this was
Even the early Quicksilvers.
Chuck Heinrich Quicksilver. Chuck built these.
Chuck Heinrich never built the Quicksilver. He welded the Quicksilvers for Minky.
Okay.
Okay, so there was Minky Quicksilver, and there was CKS Quicksilver.
But I thought Minky worked for CKS.
No,
Never did.
No, never did.
We seen him. He was the guy that had the
Right, he
wrist
was from
thing.
Cleveland or something. Bob,
Yeah.
Bob, let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he was from Cleveland.
But I thought he always had CKS shirts on and all that shit.
No. But so the Minky Quicksilver company was sold to this guy, Mike Alexander, right, Wild Bill, and he's in California.
Oh,
so
okay.
these became the California Quicksilver.
Oh, okay.
The Minky Quicksilver became the California Quicksilver.
Okay.
The Minky Quicksilver had the Apollo brakes on it. The Apollo brakes looked like a chunk of billet.
Oh,
And it said
okay.
Apollo, like somebody hand stamped the
Stamped it
letters
in
in the
it,
top
yeah,
of it, right?
yeah.
Kenny had Apollo brakes on his Tom Bart, the Quicksilver he got from Bart, with the red wheels.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the-
Wasn't it yellow, white, and red or
Yeah,
something?
he put the body when he put the
yeah,
body on it.
yeah.
Yeah, but when he got it, it had a red steering wheel. Everything was red. All the aluminum was red.
Yeah.
The 2-piece Van K wheels were red anodized, and that was a real Minky Quicksilver. It still had the Apollo brakes on it.
Yeah.
Never had front brakes. Kenny was never a front brake guy. Still isn't
Nuts.
to this
That's
day.
crazy as hell.
He still isn't to this day.
Even with a little 100cc putt-putt motor on this, you can't drive this thing 10/10 with just back brakes on it.
I don't know
You
how.
gotta be out of your damn mind.
I don't know how guys did it. I really don't. I really don't.
They were super bike backing it into the corner every time, and then standing on it.
Yeah, I
Like,
can't
that's-
imagine the old man back in the day with the BM 130 in the FKE with no front brakes.
Exactly. What
No
a
front
nut
brakes.
job.
An
How crazy-
engine clutch and no front brakes.
brakes. Exactly.
Absolutely insane.
How did he drive that thing fast? Is beyond me.
I don't know. He hated it.
Yeah, and he never used the brakes, I guess.
I wouldn't say he hated it. It was a lot of work. You had to wear that fireproof suit. You had to be strapped in. He did not like being strapped in.
No.
He was just not. He had a big cylinder of liquid mercury, which is probably
Crazy.
illegal as hell these days.
Yep.
Between his legs as ballast for weight. It was hose clamped to the nut bar.
Yep.
And I remember that thing came loose once, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bouncing around inside the car, but I mean, it was good and loose. So there you go. There's a
Yeah,
little,
good thing that didn't get loose
little
and smack him
history.
in the nuts while he was driving.
First couple carts I drove Kenny's Coretta at Waterford, only rear brakes. That was a nightmare because it was a McCullough. As soon as I got to a tight corner and a carburetor loaded up, I tried to get my finger through the air cleaner and it died, so I got one lap. That wasn't really racing. But after that, I drove Dad's cart. The Hartman only had back brakes.
Yep.
Didn't really notice because I
What
was
about
just
the Margate
actually
that he
was
had?
just a punk kid. That was the first ride I got.
At Waterford.
Right. Then
Yeah.
I did the Coretta. Then I did the Margay.
Yeah.
Kenny's Margay only had back brakes. That thing was such a piece of shit to drive.
I know, it didn't
drove
handle
like a
for shit.
concrete truck. It
Yeah.
felt so heavy. The steering, you had to be Hulk Hogan
Just
to go
to steer it.
go 10 or 15 minutes in that car, let alone 45 minutes.
Yep.
So you weren't getting into a corner hard because you couldn't turn the steering wheel any. You knew
Yeah.
getting there you weren't going to be able to turn.
That
So
thing
you were slowing down early, right?
Needed a rack and pinion.
But my first go-kart I bought from Pop Basha. I made all those payments. Took me a year or whatever it was to pay that thing off. Had front brakes, and that thing was magic. And
That's the one that had the frying pan
yeah,
covers,
yeah.
right?
When I first got it, it had frying pans on it. Yeah. But yeah, and never looked back. You gotta have front brakes. You have to have four-wheel brakes. I don't care if it's a pedal car. It's got to have four-wheel brakes.
It's got a 49E on it.
That's right,
you
baby.
need some front brakes.
That's right, baby. So cool. Okay, well we're gonna get Rich packed back up and out of here because I got a whole bunch of deck boards to remove. It's middle of the afternoon now, 1 o'clock or so, right? And I ain't even got started. It was raining and was wet. The wife ran off to OFT to help her mother move into her apartment, the assisted living or what do they call it? Fixed income, income-based housing for seniors. It's actually the same place my brother Kenny's living at. It's kind of a nice joint. So she'll be moving out of the old house that we were living in, and we'll be happy to see that happen, if you know what I'm saying. She's off running off doing that. I'm going to remove all the boards, and we'll get to getting it. Tomorrow's going to be beautiful. As you can see, I'm wearing winter hat, and so it's only going to be 50 degrees today or something, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly.
We aren't going to see 60, so that's it. We're already 11 and a half minutes in. I'm Robert.
And I'm Richard.
And we're the Lawson Brothers.
And we are go-kart boys.